Nothing yet, Stephen. Testing. Good morning, everybody. My name is Gregory Anderson. I'm the president of Riverside City College, and I'm thrilled to be joined by two leaders. I'll ask both Albert and Lana to introduce themselves.
Good morning, Dr. Anderson. I'm Lana Wilson, Executive Director for the RCCD Foundation. Pleasure to be here with you on this last day of Giving Week.
Good morning, President Anderson. My name is Albert Jaramillo. I am the current ASRCC president. A pleasure to be here working with all of you today.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're just going to take a couple of minutes and to all of you who are joining us live. You should know right off the top that we have now met our goal of $50,000. Woo! Thanks to all of the donors. There's obviously still time to give. There are only 365 days every year that we accept donations. So please continue to keep RCC in your thoughts throughout the year. But we are very, very grateful to everybody who contributed to the success of Giving Week. It's turning out really well. We've got a lot of positive feedback about the videos, and it always is our students and their learning experience that inspires the community. So thanks again to everybody who was part of Giving Week. Lana, why don't you talk a teeny bit about.
Yes, I just wanted to echo your gratitude to everybody that participated in Giving Week. Specifically on behalf of the foundation staff and board of directors, I really want to give a special thanks to our sponsors. I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, Dr. Anderson, but we raised $43,000 in sponsorships alone. And so that is thanks to our great community partnerships. And I want to just give some special shout outs to our gold sponsors, Altura Credit Union, Tilden Coyle Constructors, Pepsi, and SGH Architects. In addition, I want to thank our diamond sponsors, School First Federal Credit Union, Snyder and Snyder Construction, and 196 Architects, and Mr. Albert. A very extra special thank you and shout out to the associated students of RCC. That's right, our students donated $15,000 to be this year's presenting sponsor for RCC's Giving Week. Thank you, Albert, for your leadership, and thanks to the student body of the college. It's amazing and so inspiring to see how much our students support the college.
Great, thanks a lot, Lonnie. Yeah, exactly. Before giving Albert a chance to accept the appreciation, I'll just echo that. When I went to the leadership of the Associated Students, I went there not with hat in hand. I went there to just explain what Giving Week is. And I didn't need to work very hard to persuade them to support Giving Week at the highest level. And that's because our students value their experience here, and our students recognize that their support to Giving Week, their supports to the President's Fund can really have an impact. So thank you to the students who voted. They tax themselves. Let's get that very clear. They tax themselves, and then they spend their own money. The administration doesn't decide for the students how they spend their money because it's their money. So Albert, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Yes, on behalf of ASRCC, we're glad that the students could contribute this year and be a presenting sponsor. We know our students and our institution are going to greatly benefit from the President's Fund for Excellence, and that is why they were so generous in their giving. And almost without hesitation, once you sir, explained to these incoming student senators the purpose of the President's Fund for Excellence and the purpose behind Giving Week, they were more than welcome to give again this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. In the community, either folks are so supportive of the college, and it's been a rough haul. You know, through the pandemic, it's been a rough haul. Some businesses have been very, very severely impacted, and still some of them came through. And others said, you know what, this year I can't. But that didn't strengthen their commitment to the college. So speaking of that, when businesses recover some of their growth and are in a better financial spot, or families or anybody, who wants to support the college? Alana, what can they do?
They can always give. Like you said in your first couple of remarks, there is no day in the year that someone who wants to contribute to the success of the college and its students cannot do so. So even after Giving Week, all folks have to do is go to rcc.edu and find the Donate Now button and just click to donate, or you can always contact the foundation at foundation@rccd.edu, and I, or a member of the foundation team, will gladly help facilitate your philanthropy to the college.
Perfect. Thanks, Lana. I kind of want to shift a little bit. And every morning when I sent out the reminders about where we are in Giving Week, I got to see those videos again and then be kind of inspired throughout my day. So it's been a long week, pretty busy, but I've got a lot of energy, even though it's the end of the week. Are there any videos that gave you energy, that inspired you, Albert or Lana?
Albert, you first.
Okay, thank you. I am impartial to anything involving CTE. That was my first major, is welding. So the CTE video and the HVAC video really meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Seeing the students, again, who are already working, already in the field, but still wanting to further their education or get their proper education here at RCC, in particular our CTE section, while they're already working, that just brightens my day.
And you know what, Albert, you just stole my thunder, because that's the exact same set of videos that I was so inspired, like literally tears falling down my eyes as I'm sitting in my office watching those videos. And not only because of how inspiring the students are and how committed they are to their vocational program, but also the fact that there are so many businesses in our community that look to RCC when they are looking to hire. I know the welding student that was in the video. I know the owners of CryoWorks and how passionate they are about their work and about the fact that they get such amazing welders from RCC, and so much so that they established an endowed scholarship with the foundation a few years ago, specifically to support the welding department at RCC. And so they support with their philanthropy, and then it comes full circle when they get to hire the students from that program. Those were the videos that really inspired me. Gregory, what were yours?
So for me, I'm not going to choose any particular video. What I'm going to say is that one of the things that that I really like to see was how our students comment a lot on the support they get at the college. They comment on what they learn from their professors. They comment on how cared for and how nurtured and how much our classified professionals and our faculty believe in our students. And that's the part that really got me. The reminder that our students succeed because of their own intellect, their courage, their grit, but they also succeed because all of that is valued by our faculty and our classified professionals. So without that combination of our students bringing so much, and then our colleagues here at RCC believing in our students, none of this success would happen. So that's the part that got me, and I'm gonna change topics now so I don't start crying. So Albert, you mentioned the CTE programs, and that was actually, by coincidence, it was the theme of this week's meeting with my president's advisors. For those who don't know, my president's advisors, it's kind of a think tank. It's community leaders from industry, from some entrepreneurs there, some public leaders, civic leaders, and we take a topic, we dig deep into it, and we talked about employer relations and things. And to a person, the president's advisors said that the reputation of excellence that we provide here at RCC, that our faculty insist upon with our students, is what they depend on. In other words, our employers believe that they can depend on the quality of our students, of our graduates, of our alumni, whether it's in nursing or, like you said, in welding and auto technology. And then even one of the things that really got me is that a bunch of them said that they'll look to graduates from UCR or Cal Poly Pomona or Cal Baptist, and they'll see that they got their start at RCC as they hire them here in Riverside after they get their 4-year degree. And they look for that quality as well. So whether it's transfer or CTE, our community is looking to RCC to strengthen the economy and strengthen civic society. So a real strong shout out to President's Advisory Board members. Lana, anything else from
I
you?
also want to give a shout out, well, not only to your President's Advisory Board members, of whom I know many of, but I also want to give a special shout out to the RCCD Foundation Board of Directors for supporting the philanthropic mission of the foundation and the work that we do each and every day on behalf of the college. So shout out to the RCCD Foundation Board. Albert?
I would like to give a shout out to the ASRCC. I keep mentioning the student senators, who are the ones who vote on the allocation of funds, and they were the ones who had the official vote on donating again this year. But we also brought it in front of our executive members as well, and they voted yes enthusiastically as well. So again, these are students who see the importance of giving back to students and allocating the funds, knowing that the funds that we donated this year are going to go to greater things and helping more students throughout this year. So again, thank you to ASRCC and all of our students here at RCC.
Perfect. Thanks, Albert. So we're almost at the end here, but speaking of shout outs, I do have a lot of thanks to give, and I'm not going to be able to touch on everybody, but I want to start by thanking from among my leadership team, Dr. Christy DeMemo, who led the entire Giving Week effort. And it's not something that just happens this week. It's something that started happening early summer or even earlier in the spring. We started planning. So throughout that entire time, Christy's leadership has been absolutely impeccable. We're very proud of the work that Christy has done in her first year leading Giving Week. She got support from so many students and faculty and members of the classified professional staff, and alumni came in as well. And on your screen, you have them listed. Rather than call them out by name, rather than having me call them out by name, I'll just say thank you. Thank you to all of you for what you gave. Anything else before we close it out, Lana or Albert?
I know that there were many hands in the behind the scenes roles of creating the videos, editing the videos, coordinating and scheduling all of the Giving Week videos, going out and soliciting the sponsorships from our community partners. I just want to echo Dr. Anderson's gratitude to every single person that participated, whether out front on one of the videos or behind the scenes in the creation and the execution of Giving Week. It's a lot of work. And like you said, Dr. Anderson, we started back in the early summer, and I'm so proud of what was accomplished this year.
You know, I just said I'm not going to call out people by name, but I have to. So Tony Rizzo, who produced all those videos with support from the entire team in TSS and production services, as well as Peggy Lomas, who's been integral to every part of this work. Those are two individuals who I did call out, but again, I'll stop right there because as soon as I start calling people out, I'll fail to thank somebody. So Albert, back to you.
As a student here at RCC, I want to thank all the businesses who donated because they believe in the students here. They're giving to the students knowing it's going to further them, it's going to help them in some way that they couldn't have helped themselves, or just maybe even further the students. So thank you to the community for believing in us as students, and in return giving back to you once we graduate.
So finally, before I close, I will acknowledge the leadership of the elected Board of Trustees who continue to provide direction and overall policy leadership to this district. In this district, of course, RC is the biggest college, and we appreciate that leadership along with their CEO, Dr. Isak, our chancellor. So with those thanks, we will close it off. Thanks to everybody for participating and supporting our students. Now, before we close, very important announcement. It's my honor to introduce a good friend, and I say that not as a throwaway, but he was one of the first to welcome me to this college 3 years ago. The 2021 Alumnus of the Year, our very own Mike Barnes. Congratulations, Mike.
The Riverside Community College District Alumnus of the Year Award was created in 1959 to recognize the achievement of distinguished alumni who have made a difference in their community and exemplify what it means to be exceptional in a field of work.
As the Riverside Community College District Board of Trustees President, one of the joys is participating in the recognition and celebration of those who demonstrate what it means to be part of the Riverside Community College District family. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I'm proud to congratulate Mike Barnes as the 65th Distinguished Alumnus of the Year.
This year's honoree, Michael Barnes, grew up in a small farming community in northern Indiana. I'm sure he developed strong work habits there as a child, but academically he struggled.
I graduated high school back in northeastern Indiana in the bottom half of the graduating class. And in those days, there weren't community colleges in the state of Indiana, so if you didn't graduate in the top half of the class, you couldn't go to college.
But Mike was interested in California.
And I had an older brother who had been in the Navy in San Diego, and when he had gotten out, he moved to Riverside, and he actually went here a little bit. And the next Monday that I got here on the weekend. On the next Monday, I came down to this college and applied, and the rest is history.
And RCC welcomed him with open arms, and he became an RCC Tiger in 1965. At first, he wasn't even on the basketball team.
I couldn't play sports at that time because in those days, if you were from out of state, you could not play. It was for the local area high school graduates. Went to school, worked my job, went back home and married my high school sweetheart, came back and introduced myself to Coach Mulligan, and I said, and that I just loved to play basketball. I didn't say anything about what my skills were, talents, nothing. I just said I loved to play basketball. Very first day of tryouts, I was leaving the gym once practice was over because I thought he'd already picked his team. Or he said, "Hey Barnes, come here. We can use you."
By the time he graduated in 1968, he was all conference, all tournament, and the team's most valuable player. For 30 plus years, he held the men's assist record, and he remains second on that prestigious list today. He was then recruited to UC Irvine on a basketball scholarship, where he earned his bachelor's degree in history. From 1970 to 1981, he taught history at Notre Dame, a private high school here in Riverside.
4 years at Notre Dame, 4 years at Paris Junior High, 2 years back home in Indiana because I always wanted to go back and work at my old high school. First winter, the kids all said, "Dad, we want to go back to California." So I gave it 2 years, came back, worked at Paris High School for a year, and then got hired here.
4 years later, and he became a counselor and the women's basketball coach. From 1982 to 2001, his teams won 372 games and lost 230. His impressive 372 victories made him the Tigers' all-time winningest coach.
As a coach, Mike was the kind of leader that used to talk about how he would take the team uniforms home to wash. He was a 24/7 coach and was tireless in his support of his athletes.
He took 14 of his teams to the regional playoff, winning the state championship in 1986. His teams also won 3 conference titles and racked up 150-92 conference record.
When you mention RCC women's basketball, or RCC basketball in its general, you always hear the name Mike Barnes.
In 2012, Mike was inducted into the RCC Athletic Hall of Fame for his great success as the head coach of the women's basketball team. Mike has worked at RCC for 40 years, and I understand he's determined to make it 40 plus 1.
Every day I walk on this campus, I will try to help everybody the moment I walk on this place. And I'm trying to still help people when I leave. And if I see you at the grocery store, I'd still try to help you. But that's, RCC's in my blood. And I will cry when I leave.
He has counseled thousands upon thousands of students through the course of his career.
I met with him on Zoom. I told my parents, I was like, oh, who did you meet with, everything? I was like, oh, someone by name of Mike Barnes. Like, I didn't really think anything of it. Come to find out that he also counseled my brother when he went here for his 2 years. And then he also was here when my dad went to school. So my dad had known him for years. And then my mom also knows him because she used to come in and play basketball like in the open gym. So Mike Barnes had known her throughout her college experience. It's really neat to find out like the family history that we share with Coach Barnes and just how long my family has known him and how long he's been in the community.
He always cared first about his students and has been a strong voice advocating for students throughout his career.
I worked closely with Mike when I was the Vice President of Academic Affairs at RCC. He was the chair of chairs and we worked very well together.
And I was in charge of the chairs, and he was the VP of Academic Affairs, so we worked really closely together.
I have always appreciated his collaboration and leadership at RCC, and I consider him a friend and esteemed colleague. At RCC, he became a motivated student who excelled in both academics and athletics. Now he encourages and converts regular students into motivated students, playing a remarkable role in transforming the lives of thousands of students.
He loves RCC. He completely recommends it to any person. I told him actually I was thinking of just going to a 4-year out of high school, and he was like, this was probably the best choice you could have made. Coming here first, he really pushes kids to do it. It's a smart decision.
His long career as an educator, counselor, and coach has qualified him to mentor both students and colleagues.
He leads from a place of service, gratitude, and a genuine belief that every student deserves the very best that we as a college community can offer.
He's definitely worthy of recognition as an Alumnus of the Year who makes a difference in his community and exemplifies what it means to be exceptional in his field of work. Michael is joining a long list of impressive individuals who have used their knowledge, personal skill set, and talents to impact those around them. His wealth of knowledge and his unwavering dedication to the success of students is proven on a daily basis, and we are honored that he is part of our family.
Congratulations to Mike Barnes, Riverside Community College District's 65th Distinguished Alumnus of the Year. Mike exemplifies Tiger pride, and I am grateful to call you my colleague. Your commitment to our students and our community is beyond compare, and everyone at the college thanks you for your dedication to the success of our students and our institution. Thanks, Mike.
On behalf of the trustees, administrators, faculty, and staff, and with the students and communities we serve, it is my honor to present Professor Michael Barnes as the 2021 RCC Alumnus of the Year. Congratulations.
I need to go somewhere and cry now. So inspiring.